Here we go.
I got glue on my booba.
Hello and welcome to another Woodshop podcast.
Yes,
with Mike Coffey of Coffee Custom Builds, Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, and Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop. You can find us all, as well as the podcast, on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 91 of another Woodshop podcast, where we've had Skip, we've had Jump, and now we have Hop. Morgan Hop's here, everyone.
Oh, that was fire.
Oh, that was one of your best ever.
Was it?
Another week, Pete. You've earned another week on the show.
Morgan Hopfensperger is with us from Microjig.
No, I want you to say his full name.
I don't think we should.
Morgan Hopfensperger.
I want Morgan to say.
Morgan
Hopfensperger. I want Morgan to say his full legal name right now. Outstanding. Okay.
So actually, Morgan's not even my first name. It's my first name is actually it's Jeffrey Morgan Hopfensperger. I just go by Morgan.
Why?
Because that's easier.
That goes by their middle name. Yeah.
What the heck? What kind of Polish junk is this?
Whoa, hey. I don't even go by my first or middle name.
I just ruined the episode, didn't I?
That's fine.
No, it's better now. I like it more somehow.
Did you say your first name was Jefferson? I have a bad memory. Jefferson.
Jeffersopoulos.
Jeffersopoulos. Morgan Topoulos. No, listen. Hey, we have Morgan Hop on the show. Before we jump into that, I wanted to say a big thank you to our sponsor this week. That is MIRKA. Big thank you to MIRKA for sponsoring this week's episode. They have dustless sanding. Me, Dan, and Pete, we all use the MIRKA sanders. They're great sanders. We love them. We think you should check them out if you're in the market for a new sander. They have really great stuff. We've all got a bunch of their machines, and they work very well, and we're just a big fan. What's up, Dan? I can see your
it's worth noting that we are big fans of MIRKA even before they were sponsors of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's true.
Absolutely true.
Yeah. Also, we're big fans of yellow tools in general. Just
real nice, Pete. That'll segue later. Big thanks to MIRKA. We really appreciate you sponsoring this show. You guys are awesome. Go check them out over on Instagram. And, they got YouTube, they got Facebook, they got all the pages. Go check them out. Look at their machines.
All the socials.
They got something for you.
All the socials.
So also, I'd like to say a big thank you to our patrons. We got a patron over on Patreon this week. That is Chris. Big thanks to Chris for sponsoring the show.
Are you just making up names at this point?
I am.
Thank you, Stephanie.
9 solid months. Thank you, Morgan Topoulos, for sponsoring the. No,
we got John. He donated $9,000 today.
$9,000 from John. Dan's son John is going to college now. No, big thanks to Chris for sponsoring the show over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/another Woodshop podcast. That's what we got going over there. As we kind of alluded to / mentioned, we got Morgan joining us. Morgan, we're going to jump into some questions from you
before we do what's on my bench. I want a little bit of an explanation of who Morgan is. What does Morgan do?
I think Morgan should explain that, and I want to get into that really bad, but let me please go into the review segment first. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got to do that.
Really
I'm sorry.
Play the review segment. So
Mike's
first for reviews. Yeah, come on. Stop putting your hands on the wheel. We're going to get into the review segment. And before we can ever do that, we have to stop it. They're so strong. They're so meaty, these hands. Before we get into the,
let me see the back of your
my hands, Pete. No, before we get into the reviews, we have to hear this song. It was written exclusively by Daniel Dunlap, no one else.
Daniel. Oh, Black Betty, Ramblin'.
Okay, that was amazing. Thank you, Dan. But actually, I was just looking at my notes, and we're not actually going to read reviews this week.
I have a review to read on Yelp, actually. We have a Yelp review.
I know. Let's do both. We've got like 2 other reviews. Let's do them next week. Morgan's here.
All right.
And we
tune in next week for reviews.
For the big review reveal.
Ooh.
So
at the end of this episode, I can give you guys my own review.
Please do.
Oh, please.
And just
in real time. So that can be fun.
We would love, and at the end of the episode, please stay tuned. we need our retention to stay high. So we're actually going to tease Morgan leaving a review for the podcast he was just on.
So we can record it after. I'll splice it at the end in a video, everything. We'll just have a nice little review segment.
Just hang around for Morgan reviewing the podcast he was just on.
Live.
I'm not
I'll just make notes the whole
Nostradamus.
time, and then I'll unroll it like a scroll and like going down the list.
I'm not
I was unhappy
Nostradamus,
about.
but I don't think it's gonna be good.
17 years ago.
All right, listen. Let's jump into what's on my bench in a minute, and I'll play the music for that. But I want Morgan to explain who Morgan is. Morgan,
well, hold on. Pete has to ask the question. Pete has to ask the question.
Pete, why don't you ask your tale as old as time question?
I just want to know, who the hell do you think you are? Morgan, who are you, and what makes you so special?
I'm not special.
All those hands.
I'll lead with that. I'm not special, and my hands.
I disagree.
Have you seen that Knuckle? It's pretty.
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, look at this.
You weren't supposed to show it again.
This is a podcast. This podcast.
By the way, the whole hands thing.
Look at this Knuckle.
No one listening to the actual episode knows what we're talking about. I asked Morgan to show me the backs of his hands, and I was looking at the micro jig site, and I go, "Oh yeah, I thought they looked familiar because it's only like
we haven't even got that far.
Shots with like hands pushing things across tools." So
none of this makes sense right now because we haven't got that far, Pete.
Like in front of a package, should it be like?
There's a lot of visual effects going on.
By Morgan.
I'm cutting wood.
I don't. We're like pretty early into the show, but we already have the title. I'm pretty sure is "Look at This Knuckle" with Morgan Hop. So I don't think we need to do whole many more segments here.
What about Knuckle, please?
Knuckle, please. Oh my god! Okay, I like it.
Oh my goodness, this is off the rails already, you guys.
But
I'm not sure. You're gonna get canceled.
Remember that review we got that we haven't read yet?
Not enough meat.
We're about to do a Morgan Hop review. But yeah, so just in general, because people are curious, like, who are you? What? Special. I mean, we all know, but
So I guess I'll lead with I'm really not special. But so I work. I'm the creative director for Microjig. I've been been here for about going on 4.5 years.
Dang.
I had a custom furniture business for 7 years prior to that, and
so you're not just a pretty knuckle. You actually know know woodworking.
I'm more than just my knuckles. I'm wrists, I'm forearms, I'm everything.
Four of them. Wow. 4 arms. No wonder you.
Please don't list any more things.
Productive. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I dissolved that and I started working for Microjig full time in 2017.
I believe it was called Miles Craft Furniture Shop.
Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
Okay. Well, I'll edit that part out.
So wait, no, hang on. So when you sold Tack Life, what like?
When you sold Tack Life.
Well, so how'd you even get involved in that? Like, how did that even come up? Kind of curious.
All right, so
yes, for real.
So I had my furniture business and it was going, it was great, but it was inconsistent. So I would have a great month and then the next month would be like,
Yeah.
And my wife and I we decided that we wanted to start we wanted to have a family, and so that inconsistency wasn't ideal.
There's your
so
problem.
I started looking for a real job that was still kind of in the woodworking space, and I saw a posting from Microjig, and I had already used Microjig products. I didn't know that they were local. I thought it was just like a local rep or something, and so I submitted my resume, did like a phone interview, but it was for some like operations executive type things. We agreed at the time that I was not the right person for that position. But they said, we'll keep your resume on file and call you if anything ever comes up, which usually just means
We'll never talk to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
that
for
just
coming by.
means, like, yeah.
Bye.
Security, see this man out.
And that's how I took it. And so that was kind of the last I thought about it. And then a year and a half later, out of the blue, they called me. They're like, "Hey, we got a position for you. We want to hire you to just do what you do. Like we're going to create a position for you specifically if you're available." I was
How
like,
cool did that feel?
Right?
I mean, how good was that conversation? I mean, like, that's pretty dope.
So like
Looking
I
for
was in that
cameras and Ashton Kutcher. Like, where's Ashton Kutcher at? I'm being punked.
You've been punked, X. Sorry,
I was in
office
that transition
reference.
of like, trying to like, get into something more regular. And, the first step in that transition was I was working in a cabinet shop, which just sucked. And so I got that call, right when I got home for the day from working at the cabinet shop. And I was like, that day changed my life. It was crazy.
That's awesome, dude.
That's definitely one you won't forget. That's cool.
Yeah.
So should we keep hitting it with questions or
to
the bench?
I mean, the other thing is like, and not to like, jump up Microjig's butt, but well-known company, good stuff. I mean, we all use their stuff as woodworkers. I mean, the gripper is great. There's other great products there. The match fits.
I got one that looks like a tank. I don't know about you guys.
The military grade Microjig. No,
I almost grabbed the invitation.
No, I mean, that's a phone call you get where you like, right? Like you're like right away, you're like, I have to do this. I have to do this. Like, this is going to be big in my life. It's one of those milestone moments, right?
It was insane.
Milestone moments?
Stop it.
I'm sorry. You had to be in the pre-show to understand these jokes.
I'm trying not to say it. Now
I would say that's when you get that call and you just do a major jig.
It was a minor.
You don't want to do a micro jig. I mean,
you want to do a major jig.
Yeah. So good.
But
I'm submitting my resignation right now.
To whom it may concern.
I'm sorry, Morgan.
Oh man, quitting at the cabinet shop was so ugly. So I was there for.
Yes, I want to hear this. I'm here for it.
I was there for 6 months, and I started, entry level. They're just like, yeah, you just do whatever the actual builders tell you to do, and then within 6 months,
shop gimp.
Yeah, pretty much. Then within 6 months, they gave me my own bench and put me in a lead builder position, and then I was telling 70% of the floor what to do.
Did you start working?
So bad.
Question: did you start working at the cabinet shop with the mustache and the tattoos? Because if you started there, I don't see how you started at a shop gimp position. I mean, if you had facial hair and a sleeve, how do you start?
I had a ponytail as well.
See, there's your problem.
No.
All right.
That's the real beta move.
I had a ponytail and I wore a deep V every day.
Pete.
All the way down to your belly button?
It's basically just a vest. Really. It's like a bathrobe. It's like a
Menards.
Did you see the life drain from Pete's face when he said deep V?
I love DPs. They're great.
They were so mad when I told them I was leaving. They're like, "What do you mean? We just promoted you, gave you the bench, like managing people." I'm like, "I don't want to manage these people."
You've got your own table without a seat. What more do you want?
And I told them what I was going to do, and like, any normal rational person would be happy for me and tell me good luck. But they were just like, well, if you don't leave proper notice, you can't come back.
Hope you don't get AIDS.
I don't claim to get
Oh my God. 12% Mike, everyone.
So I was like, so I'm going to leave today because I don't want to be here tomorrow. So.
No, that's great. That's great.
That's good.
That's the kind of story I love to hear.
Yep. And you followed your path. That's super cool, man.
Anytime I quit a job, I left by throwing my time card at the boss.
All one times?
Dunlapped 3
Not
times.
a whole lot of people I would
3
believe,
times.
but with you, I 100%
Also,
believe that.
guys, he's so old. He used to use paper to punch in for work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm that old.
But this cabinet shop, we had paper punch cards.
Oh,
Yeah, see?
Yep.
that's funny.
Well,
Sucked.
now
Clank,
that,
clank.
now that we've learned about the man behind the knuckle, I think we should.
I want to position that for the show title, Man Behind the Knuckle.
I've got a long list.
It's like a call on like a Michael Jackson, the man behind the mirror.
Looking at the man behind the knuckle.
That was beautiful. First of all, I need to write that down right now.
Yes.
Well, it's a good thing we have this isolated
That's
audio.
Morgan gets me. I love it.
There's a lot of knuckle-centric titles that we could go with.
Yeah, well, I need to actually
Knuckle
I need
deep.
to have you sign a consent form at the end of this that I can use the man behind the knuckle audio clips for future episodes. So I'm
We're
just
gonna have to
write
pay
down.
royalties on that, though. I hope.
Yeah,
that's in
you're
your
gonna.
budget.
Good luck. Hope you can afford negative $30 an episode.
The man behind the-
All right, so while they're giggling, what do you like? So what do you do now at Microjig aside from hand model? Like, what else do you
Knuckle
do?
model.
Like, because like
Knuckle model.
a full-time job, you're not like Are you a content creator for them? Are you just Instagram model? Are you actually creating articles for their site? Or are you just like able to do whatever you want and they're just like, yeah, just send us the video and here's money.
With that mustache and knuckle, we'll pay you whatever you want.
So
Knuckle money.
I guess it's knuckle.
Please continue.
Knuckle, please.
Knuckle, please. I really hope some of you watched the video
guys,
for this episode.
That last review we got, 100% correct.
Oh yeah, we're not denying that review is correct.
No, it hurts because it's accurate.
It's true.
Sorry. What do you do at Micro?
So it's hard to get back on track.
Sorry.
So
Welcome to AWP.
I guess it kind of changes. It's really dynamic. It changes all the time. But generally, as creative director, you kind of drive the creative direction of how the brand and the products are presented to the public. So I work with influencers, and so I don't do any of the social media management, but I do work with content creators to coordinate, figure out, work on projects that are going to that they enjoy and that are going to present our products in a positive light. I shoot all the photography. I write all the copy for packaging and web and newsletters, and
that sounds pretty
really
important.
And then all the video. So I I write all the videos. I'm in all the videos. I shoot them all myself. I edit them all myself. So it really, anything that's public facing, in terms of media, that's what I do.
You have a knuckle in it, or hand in it.
I got a
Sorry,
knuckle in it. I got a knuckle in just about everything around.
Just about everything.
We got knuckle jokes galore. Just stay tuned, everybody.
This is gonna be. This is
Wow.
good. This is good. So that's a. I mean, legit. Like that's really cool to understand more about what you do. I mean,
Really
I
awesome.
knew that
It's
stuff,
actually
but
super amazing to
It's
hear,
kind of
hear
a dream
your
job.
Yeah, to
in
hear
many
your
ways.
origin story and see where you came from, like a cabinet shop, and to go to like a company like Microjig that totally supports the community, and it sounds like you have kind of free reign and free like creative control.
It's pretty amazing. So like we've got, whenever a product we need to come out with or promote, we're launching a new thing or just kind of refreshing the content that we have around an existing product. I'll do like a project, and as a woodworker, I'm in the best position to decide, what project to build that will best demonstrate the capabilities of various products. So I basically just get to decide what I want to build and just build it and make a video, and everybody wins. And
That's awesome.
Love it. That's awesome.
So right now you're sitting in a wood shop, which looks like an amazing like wood shop. You have everything that I can see like behind you that is a fantastic tool. So is that your shop or is that a microjig shop?
This is microjig shop. This is the office is just that way. My shop is a 10-foot by 12-foot PVC shed.
I think Pete can commiserate with you. He had something like that.
Yeah.
Before you had stationary table
time.
saw money.
I'm fighting. I'm wrestling with the city planning and development department to get a permit to put a shop on my property. They're just
yeah. If only one of us could
difficult.
relate to that. Ha.
I certainly can't.
Mike.
Yeah, they're being very difficult. But yes, this is microjig shop. This is where I shoot all the videos, except for
It's a
right
nice
when
shop.
COVID started, and I was actually a good chunk of the content that I made right when COVID started was in my dumpy little 10 by 12 shed.
Nice.
But made it work.
Yeah, if you're doing tight shots, you can't tell where you're at. So like if you're doing tight shots of the knuckle.
I was standing right outside in front of the shed. I'm like, hey, this is my shed.
Oh,
Let's go make something.
Fantastic. All right. So that's a peek behind the curtain, or the man behind the knuckle, or whatever. That's thank you, Morgan. We're really glad you're on the show. It's really cool. I've been talking to Morgan for a long time. We've been trying to get him on for a long while, and we're really glad it worked out. But we're going to jump into one of the primary segments of our show. We just kind of round robin on, and we talk about what we've been doing this week. And really the only way to go into that segment is to hear this.
What's on my bench?
That is, of course, Daniel Dunlap singing like an angel. And, basically multiple people just got pregnant because of that. So I'm actually going to throw it to Dan, since Morgan just got to talk for a while. So I want to hear Dan's week and how that was.
So, Morgan, first of all, you might be new here, and I gave up my singing career
I definitely am.
to be a podcaster. So there's that.
Whoops.
You were
working for Microjig as
I'm
the creative director,
this.
and then a guy named Mike called you to be on a podcast. And
it was a bad decision. It was a bad decision.
I'm just doing this till my rap career kicks off. That's it.
So we were little Petey.
SoundCloud rapper.
So you guys aren't going to believe this. I feel like a broken record at this point, but bow ties.
I want to
Bow
smash
ties.
my hands
How
on
do you
my
spell
table.
that?
Dude, bow ties. Okay, to give like a description, to give you more of a visual perspective of what bow ties means. I actually had several people reach out to me after I shared this in a story. I think I had 18 packages of bow ties like lined up on my bench today, and I showed them in a story, and they were like, "Oh, you aren't kidding when you say bow ties." Yeah, bow ties. It's ridiculous how many people want bow ties. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it, but it is like taking over my life. If I get too many more, like I'm seriously going to have to think about hiring somebody on just to run bow ties on my CNC.
If only you had
need a
two
bigger
potential
machine.
employees in the house.
Oh, who could it be? My daughter and son, child labor.
Hashtag child labor.
You just get an S corp and you can hire them on. It's legal.
World.
Anyway, so bow ties, and I still have the hackberry slab waiting for epoxy. I still need to reach out to Total Boat and see if they want to work with me. If not, I'm gonna buy Total Boat and do that on my own. Either way, that slab is gonna have Total Boat in it. And then I actually started the door tonight. I haven't shared that on the IGs yet. I started cutting it up. I'm gonna start gluing it up probably in the morning. and that is so big. We're talking 8-quarter white oak. It is 42 inches by 96 inches. That is going to be a massive, massive door. The problem is, like, I don't have shop help. And this door is going to be like 300 pounds.
Get that Harbor Freight lift table that I've been using, dude.
Yeah,
I don't have any room for anything.
Oh, yeah.
But I probably should go get it. I saw that in your stories. That is actually amazing. I want to talk to you about how you...
Mike, what is it, like 18 inches by 24 or something?
It's actually a pretty small footprint.
It's 24 by 36, but I store it out in one of my outdoor sheds. I mean, I don't keep
well,
sheds.
Mike's got all these sheds and
those scissor lift tables, they fold flat.
Scissor?
Like,
yeah, it's totally flat.
Yeah, you could tuck it under a bench stand.
Yeah, Nebraska scissor lift.
You can
I got
put
you.
it up against the wall. Like they really don't take up much room at all.
Honestly,
Morgan, if you would send me a link to that, that'd be great.
Dan, I don't know if you saw in my stories, but I flipped around the handle because it folds back.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in your stories. I wanted to talk to you about that some more.
So I flipped that thing around. It's so much more usable now. I don't know why they don't have the handle fold that way as an option.
Oh, really?
So now,
I don't think they make it for people who make 20-foot tabletops.
I know, but still, it's like I could get it. It was perfect. I was able to, and all I did was drop some I didn't show it on my stories. I was trying to get done with what I was doing today, but I sunk some self tappers into the side of the tube steel going up. And now the handle falls back, but it only goes back so far. So I can
and the screws stop it from
the screws stop it. So I
saw that. That was brilliant.
So it works. I was able to drag this like.
Yeah, I actually watch your stories, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Well, this is awkward now.
Stop.
Wait a minute, Mike, are you standing?
Yeah, I'm in a standing desk.
I'm standing too.
I think they both are. I'm sitting.
Yeah.
They're weirdos.
Gas station guy.
Why stand where you can sit?
Right. I'm old. I sit. So aside from the white oak door, actually keeping with the white oak door, so I had some back and forth.
I hate
with
white oak now. I'm tired of working with it.
I still love it. I don't care.
It looks beautiful. It looks amazing. But
it's
gorgeous.
It's
so stringy.
It's not red oak, but it's gorgeous. Anyway,
it's no.
So I had some back and forth with the client for the white oak door. They wanted me to build the door jamb for it as well, and excuse me, and the side light that has the window on the side of it. I think that's what we talked about a couple weeks ago. So and that was like after the fact. They wanted me to build this after they commissioned me to build the door, and I sent them an invoice to pay for the door jamb, and they said they weren't going to pay it until they saw progress on the door. And I explained to them, I'm not going to start building the door until I know it has to be in their house, because this house is being built. It's not done yet. And I wasn't going to, like I said, I wasn't going to start building it until I knew it had to be there, because one of the problems with it is it's going to be so large and awkward. It's going to be tough to move around in my tiny shop. I don't have a big shop. So I was trying to
kind of like anyone's.
I mean, it's big for like a hobbyist, but I'm doing this. This is my job now. So this is what I do for a living.
Did you go full time? I'm sure. Dan did before me.
Just twist it, why don't you, while it's in his gut?
I've been full-time self-employed since
2012.
9. Anyway,
I thought it was 12. My bad.
11 maybe.
11. It was 11. That's right. Photography.
Yeah. Getting so real today.
Anyway,
only Dan's.
You always throw me off, and I forget where I'm at.
Sorry, you're building the door. I'm really.
Okay.
I made my joke about that, but seriously, I am super excited to see this door build. I am. Oh, yeah. I think you're going to kill it for one.
Of course, I'm kind of good.
Okay.
At
now
what I do.
Now I'm out. I don't want to see it anymore.
I may have a small shop, but I'm really good at what I do.
Building a house around this door. Go on.
So they want me to build the door jamb, but they didn't want to pay for the door jamb until they saw progress on the door. Even though I explained to them, I'm not going to start the door because I'm going to like try to time it for when the windows are put in and everything. And the wife of the client called me today, and we had a good conversation. And I told her what the husband told me. And she's like, "Oh no!" So she paid me for the door jam today, so it was a pretty good
Not
day.
on my watch.
It's like, oh, cool. So I am doing the door jam. Anyway, aside from that, I made like, I've been making cutting boards. I know it's like the easy way out of woodworking, but they're so fun to make. I enjoy the hell out of them. Even after all this time of making bigger projects, I still enjoy going back to a cutting board, a simple cutting board. It's just such a quick win, and it feels so like gratifying to make a cutting board. I don't know what it is. I've made several. I feel like maybe I'm just procrastinating. Procrastinating? That's a hard word to say.
You said it right.
I'm procrastinating on the bigger jobs that I have.
How do you say cement?
Concrete.
No, let's move forward. Concrete.
Procrastinating.
Yeah, that's the word I'm going after.
I'm a procrastinator.
So anyways, I've made like half a dozen cutting boards to put on my Etsy shop. Anyway,
We'd like to see some progress on the door. Cool,
Yeah,
but
well, I
here's
bet you
12
would.
cutting boards.
Do you really want that door, or do you want a bunch of cutting boards?
Have you
I'll
heard
throw
of
in a
bow
free
ties?
cutting board. I'll throw in a free cutting board.
White oak end grain cutting boards.
I put white oak in an in-grade cutting board today.
I had to
I
bite
hope
my
you're
I
tongue.
will
like
fight.
listeria.
I will fight you, bro. I will fight you. White oak
I can
in grain
take you.
is fine. You can't take me. You're young and
You're
impressionable.
old.
He's got old man strength.
I got old man wiry strength.
You got that AARP card, and you can lift you little bitch.
So, aside from the cutting boards, it was a pretty banger day on Etsy, actually. And I hate to bring this up. Have you guys? Oh, Pete shared this with us. The Etsy boys Instagram page. I almost feel bad. I almost feel bad about bringing up Etsy now, because I feel like that Instagram page is just like personally attacking me. I feel like it's just going after me personally. But anyways, I had a banger day on Etsy. I sold bow ties or whatever, but somebody actually bought one of those sliding end tables that I make.
Robin wants one of those.
Yes.
Robin wants
Did you see that? Did you see the viral video?
No,
Look
she
at
doesn't
this.
follow you. She just randomly sent me. No, I'm just joking. No, she said, "Hey, you should make us a couple of those tables like Dan made." I was like, first of all, not in my house. No, I think I'm going to be making. I think we're going to be making a couple of those here in the next few weeks.
Second of all, why don't you just marry Dan? Right?
Yeah, why don't you marry Dan?
I live in Utah. Come on.
Utah.
Not even close.
Well, there goes that listener base. Sorry, both of you. Dan doesn't speak for all
It's
of us.
Lefty and
It's Lefty
Brandy.
and
Isn't
Brandy
that the
from
time
Turtle
zone that we
Hunt.
never mention?
Right,
I'm talking
Mountain.
about.
Anyway, I actually had somebody buy one of those tables off Etsy. I thought I had priced that table like out of the range of anybody wanting to buy one. They're so simple. They're so simple. It's
A lot
just
of labor though.
well, yeah. But I have a box joint jig like made up, and they're just box joint jigs. They're two box joint jigs. I mean, it's super simple. And I thought I had it priced in such a way that like nobody would ever buy one, and somebody freaking
I like
bought
how you
one today.
listed it with the specific reason being, no one's gonna buy this.
No, I didn't. $550. I didn't think anybody was going to buy it. Somebody bought it today.
Wait, how big is this table?
4 by 12.
No, it's pretty small. It's 20 inches tall by it. Morgan, it's been a very super viral video. If you just go on my page,
If you haven't seen it yet,
it's got upwards of 3 million views.
He's
So
so humble. It's
it's two right angles.
Yeah, 3 pieces
Hold on.
of walnut.
It's U-shaped.
That
It's literally that table. Yeah.
it just slides in there. It's box joints.
$550.
Yeah.
That seems about right.
That seems right to me. Bespoke.
I mean, shipping alone for that thing would probably be kind of bonkers.
But anyway,
Yeah.
somebody bought one today, and lo and behold, I actually have one pre-built that's been sitting in the corner of my house, just like waiting. And it fits their dimensions perfectly. So like the gods align, the clouds align, the
This is
stars,
a good phrase.
stars,
Lots of people say
the stars aligned,
Knuckles
the
aligned.
knuckles
The
aligned.
knuckles
Dang it,
aligned.
Ian!
And everything was gonna work. Everything's coming up Dan today. Today was a great day. I'm so happy about today.
Day
Anyway,
of Dan.
Great Dan.
It was a damn good day.
who should I throw it to? I want to hear about Pete's day.
So, what did I do?
All right,
this
this
week?
got weird.
All right. No, so I had an insane,
Energy -30.
insane week on Etsy. I had 60 plus orders since last week, which
Nice.
is bonkers for me.
60
Granted,
times 3.
$3. It's like,
$180, not bad. Not bad.
yeah, it's good because the tax and the
Sticker
fees-
sales are through the roof.
it's through the roof. Let's just say Sticker Beat's getting a lot of advertising because
Let's just say Emma's getting new fingernail polish. No big deal.
Jeez. Oh God. But I was running a pretty steep sale too. I was running a 25% off sale for Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Sucker Free Sunday, and Cyber Monday, which now there's
Sunday?
What?
What is Sunday?
Sucker Free Sunday?
Get out of here. No, it's not. Don't make stuff up.
It used to be an MTV
That's
show.
made up.
And I would
That's
work
not
it into
real.
I would say all 4 really fast, and people would be like, "What?" But now, I ended my sale on Monday, and all of yesterday or Tuesday, Etsy was like, "Hey, we're having a sale. Are you part of it?" And I'm like, "There's a Tuesday sale now." Like they're for something business Saturday, Tuesday, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyways, had a really good week. Got a lot of sales. Got a bunch of reviews. I was able to get a new product out, so I got the battery holders and a tool holders done for the Craftsman tool system. So I got those out. I sold a lot of them already. I also released the little backdrop holders that are 3D printed. So you can have a custom floor and wall setting for your photos when you're trying to take, beauty shots. So they're just little T-stands that sit on both sides. They come with 2 sets. One's wedge shaped, one's step shaped. So it fits different thicknesses of material. Oh, look, an Etsy sale. That's awesome. Just came in on my watch. And so those are selling really well. What was that?
We're too connected. Go on.
But so I got that, got all this stuff out, caught up on all those orders. And then I actually had a weird big batch of orders today that I got to get out as well. So it's to a point where I ended up ordering another Prusa, and I have a deposit down for the Prusa XL, the big one that's going to be released next summer. So I put a deposit down on a machine that's not going to be out for half a year, but I'm pretty stoked. I got a machine coming in the next couple of weeks. So I'll have 4 machines running downstairs, a 5th one here in the office for prototyping, and 3D printing is going well. And I'm hoping to keep that energy going, keep listing stuff. But I did look at my Etsy and I was like, wait, I only have 26 items. And I was looking at these successful shops that have 300 plus items on their Etsy. And, half of them are digital files. And I'm like, that's what I need to be doing. So I'm trying to get,
I think I only have 45, so
45 listings.
but I'm still new. Yeah.
Or sales.
No, 45 sales. Yeah.
So, no, I'm talking about listings. How many listings you have?
Listings.
Oh, he's
45
talking about
listings.
listings.
No, listings, how many items for sale you have.
45.
I thought you said sales.
45.
No.
Oh,
We
you
were
said
talking about
sales.
listings.
yeah, I know.
You're the one who brought up
I
sales.
didn't realize you had that many items on your Etsy.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, because all the bow ties too. That fluffs it a little bit.
All right.
Anyways,
7 million views.
7 million views. I made a wrong door and it blew up. So what else?
Ouch.
I'm kidding. I love your door. And I got the deposit for the big CNC job, so that's happening. So I'll be making these
Heck yeah.
ice climbing prototype tools. And I went down to Mendon Plywood today. Got all the stuff ordered. The owner of the place actually ended up delivering it to my house.
Johnny Minden?
No, Herb Mendon Plywood. It's Herb.
His last
I don't
name's
know.
Plywood.
I don't know. I don't know what his name is. I just know it's Herb. Herb was here. He saw the
Steven
operation.
Sheetgoods.
Steven
Herbert
Sheetgoods.
Jarvis Plywood.
And it's funny because he only had 1 sheet of this 1-inch plywood because it's 1-inch Baltic birch, and he gets it from Irena down at the docks, basically from like this giant warehouse where they just ship it straight from Russia. So quality Baltic birch stuff. But this stuff it's thick. This stuff is massive. I've never held sheet goods that thick. And then that's.
I feel like there's a joke there somewhere.
There is a joke. I just kind of left it hanging.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
It's low fruit.
That's basically it. Oh, and aside from that, it's cutting board season. I've made probably about 8 or no, actually no, because I made a bunch of those small ones. I probably made a dozen or almost 2 at this point, and I have another like 6 to 8 to still make. So it's gonna be busy here the next couple of days. I got to get those knocked out. I've got a lot of people asking for cutting boards for the holidays. And,
I was told that cutting boards isn't real woodworking. It's a cop out.
It doesn't matter. It pays me money, so
that's just what I was told.
Yeah, it's my OnlyFans. That's how I make my money.
I think somebody on Reddit told me that.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. It was a busy week here. A lot of it was spent in my print shop, getting all my orders out, including my micro jig gripper holder. And yeah, that's it. Anyways, Morgan, what's up with you this week? What's on your bench?
On my bench, I'm building a bench. So there's a new person. Hi, new person.
Oh, that's Pete's servant.
Butler.
That's Pete's
Hello.
butler.
My butler, Emma.
She's like, she was listening to the podcast live, and she's like, "Oh, Pete's had too much to drink. I'm gonna take him some water."
I'm gonna take him some water. I hear the guy on there has beautiful
Polish
knuckles.
Springs.
Yeah, show us the label. That's Polish Springs water.
Poland
Guaranteed.
Spring.
Yep.
Poland Spring.
Yeah, you guys got that Zephyr Hill crap down in Florida.
That's right.
Ay.
That's a Nestle product in Nestle.
Ooh, no, thank you.
Ooh.
Hope you like starving children. Anyway,
I do like Nestle Crunch though, so there's.
I mean,
so you're building a bench.
You can only hit him so much. Anyway, so I am building a bench. Not like we don't have enough benches around here, but
benches, please.
I was recently gifted
Like a workbench or a bench where you're gonna sit and relax.
Calm down, Daniel. I'm getting there.
I like you, Morgan. Keep going.
I love it. Find this place.
I was recently gifted a Onefinity CNC.
Wow. Nice.
I don't have a place to put it at home, and so I had to bring it to work. But workshop's getting kind of crowded, so I'm building a flip top CNC bench. So this thing, and it's not even just to store it away and have a surface to use.
Are you going to put a table saw on the other side?
No, it's gonna go right there.
Powermatic PM1000.
No, he's gonna just plunge the.
It's gonna be like
the CNC spindle is just gonna plunge through the table.
The Price is Right wheel.
It's just gonna be a 2-step machine.
Nice.
So anyway, but so I finished the torsion box and the legs
turtle
today. The turtle box. Turtle box. Okay.
Clearly, you're new around here.
Call it a turtle table.
Okay, I can live
Instead
with
of
that.
tortoise or torsion or whatever.
So it's
Did you add the water yet?
And then it's got some legs, and so the other side's going to be
a
the
fresh bottle of
outfeed
water.
table here.
Nice.
But the cool thing about those machines is that if your material is all secured, you can run it sideways. You can actually run it completely upside down. So I could literally start a toolpath, let it run completely upside down while I'm doing stuff on the table saw.
Oh my
Hopefully you're
gosh,
not cutting out
you are a
profiles.
genius.
Well,
Better add tabs.
That's all a hypothesis. That's if this all turns out the way that I expect it to.
So you're using double-sided tape. Got it.
3M Super 77 all over that bench.
So anyway, yeah, that's what's been on my bench this week is
That's awesome.
yeah, building a
That is
building
awesome.
a
I never thought
flip-top
about-
CNC.
I never thought about putting that on a flip top. I mean, Drew Fisher makes one where He
I
puts
saw
it
that.
on
It folds
a
flat.
vertical,
Yeah.
but never. I don't think it flips entirely.
I guess technically.
So it is a flip. It does go all the way around, but I haven't seen him or anybody run the machine completely upside down.
I want to see that. I really want to see that. I'm intrigued.
I've seen the ones running on a wall. I've never
Yeah.
seen them run upside down.
So
I'm very
that's-
intrigued.
I'm gonna try it. You know,
I like
but
it.
It's the only thing is the dust might
was free.
fall into
Try
the
it.
router as it's.
Oh yeah, right.
But like, it's got. I mean, it's got a dust boot.
Put that
and-
suck it boot thing on there, or whatever
Yeah,
it's
suck
called.
it. Suck it, boot.
Yeah, it's got a boot on it, and I
It'll
don't know,
grab it.
Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm just
Set up a
just have
fan,
to try it.
Nate. Blow the dust away.
That's what I do.
But what I'm gonna do is
I know.
I've got I'm gonna put a plywood floor on it and one of those some of those wheels that put the thing down and it lifts the whole thing.
Yeah, it's very technical.
I'm not sure
I
what
like
they
it.
call those. Yeah, I ordered some. But I'm gonna basically build a plexiglass walls around the whole thing, and so
So like an enclosure?
yeah. So and they're gonna have to be hinged,
If you will.
because, as you turn it, it's gonna there's
Right.
clearance issues. So it's going to be hinged so I can, when I'm flipping it, and then I can put it back. That should cut down on the dust and the noise.
I like it.
And then I should be
By the
able
way,
to.
I'm very intrigued.
Highly
I'm
recommend
super
the
intrigued.
spindle upgrade.
I'm not just saying that. I'm really intrigued. I really want to see this in action.
The nice thing, like I highly recommend a spindle upgrade because it's not blowing air, so you're not getting the mess.
And it's
Material
quieter.
just kind of stays there. So if you got a vacuum picking it up, it's nice and
And
clean.
one of these days,
and
I'm going to
quiet.
install mine.
I'm just David
one of
Wirt
these days.
offered to drive down. Just have him come over and help you.
Who did?
David Wirt,
Up. Drive up.
whatever, sideways.
So I was, I was talking with Ben Myers. Ben Myers
Mhm.
is
Yeah,
is a
we're
We
familiar.
know.
big Onefinity guy, and I asked him about upgrading to a spindle. He's like, "You can. It's not really worth it. I don't know.
Really?
I just wouldn't say it's worth it. Just go with the router."
All right.
I love it for the just honestly just for the lack of noise. For me, was worth it.
Yeah.
Plus, can't you like run faster with it?
Yes,
Technically,
for sure. It has more
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, it's got more power, but I mean, it's obviously it's an entry level machine. It's not,
Right.
It's and so you take light passes with it. It's not going to be it's not going to, like, I have this Axiom Pro sitting here.
Oh.
But it's not going to be like
Weird
that.
flex,
And that's-
but okay.
but no, it's not mine. It's works.
Yeah. Micro jigs.
Yes, but so it's not going to be that, but it'll be kind of just a completely different way to use the machine, is having it on wheels and a flip top thing that I can move around and do different stuff with. So that's what's on my bench.
Dope.
Nice.
I like it.
Very
All
cool.
right, what's on your bench, Mike?
Okay, so no, this
I was
great
getting there, Mike.
No, I was just making sure. Sometimes we have, anyway. That sounds really cool. This week,
Sometimes our guests are dumb. They don't know how to throw it.
Oh, Pete, what the heck?
I don't want to throw out any names, Paul Jackman.
I literally. Anyway, this week has been.
Well, I
So
guess.
last week was Thanksgiving, right? Thursday.
I think so, yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why
I've been eating a lot of turkey. Yeah,
The
that makes
day
sense.
before, the 2 days before on Tuesday, I mentioned it last week because we did the podcast on Wednesday. I got power last week in my shop, in the new shop. After 2 months of my shop being down, I got power.
It was a lot of
And,
hand tool work,
A lot of hand tool
strings
work.
and cans, and
Have you ever done a 4x8 sign with nothing but a router plane? Me either. That'd be horrible. It was
How did you
really
operate
nice.
your CNC by hand?
It was. I have a really
Crank.
really cool Schwinn with a belt
Schwinn.
attached. Belt attached to it.
I'm more of a
No.
huffy guy myself.
There's a
oh,
grease
love
windmill.
it.
What is that, a
Topical.
No, it's.
You got pegs?
Yeah, I got pegs on the back if you want to come over. We
And
can
the
operate
front.
that seat. Yeah, front and back. It's a 3-man bike. I
All
call
right.
it the Queen. No, well, anyway,
That's so-
it's
That hits home. You don't even know.
No, it's been a lot of getting done what I can get done for my customers. But this last week, it's hard to put into words how good it felt to have my shop back and all my tools. Dan, I'm really glad you're doing that right now. That's perfect timing. Thank you.
Don't watch my dog. Just talk.
I just can hear it super loud. It's all. No, but it just felt really good to have my tools back and my shop back and to be like working again. Like this is my job. And, when you don't work for about 2 months, I mean, I was doing stuff and keeping business going and stuff, but like 2 months, I felt like I was unemployed and that was really hard on my psyche. And it was starting to like eat at me a lot, and having my shop back and working again felt really good. And, this week I did, we did about 5 days. I had my shop helper this week in there. Sean is awesome. He was so great and just really helpful. We couldn't have gotten these 17 tabletops done this last week without him. He was just so helpful. He was just really great. I was really thankful for him. And my cousin came this last week, and he's also comes and helps in the shop. And it was just we did a ton of work. I had my cousin Matt working on finishing up the dust collection, and Sean and I were milling up 8/4 not walnut. that's some muscle memory right there. We were milling up 8/4 white oak for 5 straight days. Basically, it was just nonstop building these.
It must have smelled great in there.
I
love the way
really
white
good.
oak smells when it's milled
I do
up.
too. It smells so good, and
it smells like whiskey barrels. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I'll look into that later. I'll go on Reddit. They'll have the right information.
Yeah.
It was just really nice to not just get back to work, but to have such a big project. And I just wrapped all that up today. All those tabletops got picked up today to go to my customer, who is Bidwell Wood, who I work with a lot. I really value that relationship a lot. That's a good place. They do a lot of great furniture, and they make all my metal bases. So that was really great to do a big project with them. But I've got a bunch of corporate customers. I opened up my Etsy store. I actually think I'm going to close it down again this weekend after this current sale I'm running ends, because I don't know that I can keep up with much over there, to be honest. I think I'm going to put it on I probably won't put it on vacation mode. I'll probably put shipping dates out a month, because I can't really do any of that stuff right now. I've just got a bunch of big orders. My hope is to bring my cousin on full time at the first of the year, so he can just kind of run all of Etsy and I don't have to deal with it. So I can focus on the commission stuff. That's kind of been the plan for about, it's kind of been the plan for about 5 months. And I think it's time now. I think it's time to just make it happen. So, but anyway, for my work, what's on my bench, I'm just kind of figuring out a lot of stuff right now. My wife and I made the decision. We bought this property a few months back, and we bought a Christmas tree farm. We bought the property's 5 acres. It's a Christmas tree farm. And we've made jokes about it on the show about me being a pine farmer, because I hate pine so much. It's kind of a fun running joke, but my wife and I actually, Pindemonium is the name of it. We made my wife and I made the, no problem, Dan. My wife and I made the decision to actually restart the Christmas tree farm. It's in disrepair. So I'm in the middle of gutting it, basically.
I just want to say, told you so.
I think it was inevitable, really. I mean,
it really was.
It's super cool. We're trying to find ways to monetize the property, because we're not going to use all the property that we have. We're trying to find ways to have side income from the property, we want to sock money away for our retirement and stuff like that. We want to have we want to have ways to have the property make money for us. So we have all this property. We're only going to use occupy probably 1.5 acres of this property. So there's an existing Christmas tree farm. It's been around for 40 plus years. There's people showing up daily trying to get trees, and I have to turn them away. I mean, we're not going to be able to sell trees for 5 years, because I got to gut everything and start over. But it's going to be cool. We want to do the Christmas tree farm. We want to put a pumpkin patch in. We're doing
the wedding venue
for ourselves, and the wedding venue we want to put on the property.
I was going to say, build a barn, host events.
Yeah, we want to do events. Well, there's already
Morgan.
There's a lot to it. So there's a lot of this cross merchandising we're doing it. And with the building that's down there where we ring out people for their trees and stuff, I'm going to have local makers be able to bring in their cutting boards, ornaments, whatever handmade stuff they've got. We're going to do a whole retail spot for local makers to put all their stuff and to sell their stuff. And it's going to be kind of a shift from wholesale. It's going to be kind of, we'll track it, but we're not really going to take much of the profit from there. We're not going to like use it as a wholesale thing. We're going to try to use it as a way for local makers who are small to sell their goods. And we're not going to really take much of that.
If you have coin, we have wares.
Yeah, kind of like if you've got some stuff to make, but the real long-term thing, part of what it is there's not a whole lot of West Coast events for the woodworking community or makers or any of these things. I really want to make a spot on the property where we can host maker events, podcast meetups. We do all these meetups across the country. We'd like to have podcast meetups out here. I'd like to get brands on board to do meetups for maker weekends or a day and stuff like that. We really want to get, what's up, Dan?
I think we alluded to this, but I think like, if we did like a podcast meetup / barn raising event,
that'd be awesome.
Where we do like a timber frame, like barn raising / structure for your wedding event. I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. And there's just like really cool stuff. But I mean, I have a lot of plans and I'm pretty stubborn with my plans. It's going to happen. Like
Mike is stubborn.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's going to happen. I mean, it's just, we're trying to figure everything out now. We got to we have our planning with the CPA next week and the lawyer to, we got our planning with the lawyer and everything to kind of figure out what we need to put in place for all that stuff. So, we need to get all these ducks lined up and we're going to start doing this stuff and chasing it. So I really want to get this going. I really love living here. And I'm really lucky to live where I live. So I just really do enjoy it here a lot. Like the last month, things have really come together. I get to do the thing I love the most, which is woodworking on my property. And I really love being here. So I'm really fortunate. So what's up, Dan?
I'm actually like really looking forward to coming out to your property and helping you.
It's gonna be so fun.
Like make all these dreams come true. Like I'm super stoked for the barn raising. I already mentioned that. Like I'm
so we're talking like this timber
frame
structure for like it's gonna happen. I mean we got this timber frame structure for the ceremony, and then there's gonna be like this pathway. I've already started actually clearing that out. The day after Thanksgiving last week, I sent you guys the videos and the pictures.
Yeah, if only you knew a photographer that could like. Give you a perspective.
That's what you're coming out for.
Oh yeah.
So Dan's going to come out, and I've got some other photographer friends because we want to put the orchard as a spot where photography sessions can be handled. And Dan's the best. So just ones that don't have to fly out so far that are local. But Dan, we're going to get a lot of perspective. I want to take a lot of input from people.
I've shot weddings around the world.
Dan has these big time stuff. So we're going to have. We're gonna have people come out there. I'm really excited about.
I don't have a mustache, Morgan. Okay,
he's got to have something. Don't take.
Let me have this.
He has no mustache. He's got no knuckle. But we've got to
have a tiny shop.
No, we just got a lot of stuff going on, and it's really exciting over here. We made some big decisions, and we're working towards that. But that's such a long path around what's on my bench. I'm sorry, everyone.
What's on my bench is like a metaphor.
This what's on my bench is really
for what's going on in your life this week.
Oxford defines workbench as
replace bench with mind, and it makes
what's on my mind exactly. It's like what's on my mind. No, I mean we've made some big decisions this week, and we're gonna get a lot of stuff done out here. So that's really, it's been on my bench this week. It was a big decision we made. I got this big order done. It's 17 tops. And then I've got to actually start getting to all these other orders. I've got this on tomorrow. I'm in the shop by myself. I'm actually going to be mostly cleaning up and getting to my Etsy orders. I've got a bunch of template orders. I've got about 40 template orders to get done tomorrow. So I'm going to be getting those cut on the CNC while I'm actually doing some design work for some jobs I'm pricing up right now. I've got both the shop helpers coming on Saturday. We're going to be working on finishing up the redwood slab table that's been way too long in the making. My customer is...
That's the one that's going to take like a ton of epoxy, right?
Yeah, it's going to take a ton of epoxy. It's going to be an epoxy table, unfortunately. It's what the customer wanted. I'll make whatever the customer wants. This table is going to take probably 3 gallons of epoxy in it, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Morgan. But this guy is a great customer, and I appreciate his business. So
I feel like I'm going to be in that.
important.
I'm going to be in that neck of the woods pretty soon.
You will. As soon as you do one, 1 million people show up. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
great.
I have that one. I have that hackberry.
It'll not stop from there. It's gonna be nonstop. But this table has been a long time in the making. This customer has been super patient with my move. And we're gonna knock that thing out quick for him. I'm knocking out these spa steps. Hopefully we'll have those done by Wednesday for this customer. We're making some custom stairs or steps for this lady's spa. And then we've got a bunch of corporate gifts we got to get to. I've got, I don't know, 50 cutting boards for corporate gifts to get to right now. And then a small amount of, have you ever guys seen those learning towers?
Yeah.
For kids, like a Montessori learning tower.
I have no idea what any of this means.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either. It's like a stool with like, it's fully enclosed so a kid can learn to like hold themselves up and stand. Yeah, it's like a railing system. So a customer.
You had me at stool.
You made one of those? I had you at stool.
So they can like be at like countertop height, basically.
Yeah, exactly, and be there and learn.
Oh yeah.
It's basically like a staircase with railing. But just 2 steps. And
2 steps and enclosure. So this guy who's ordered stuff from me in the past, I don't want to say his name. He's a great guy. He's really engaged on social media, on Instagram. He's a great guy. He's ordered some stuff before. He asked me if I could make this. I was like, yeah, for sure I can make this. We agreed on a design, and I'm gonna be making that thing out of ash this week. I'm actually really excited about it. I think I'm gonna make it a thing that's available on my Etsy store permanently. Nice. The design is is really, I don't want to say it's really modern and sleek is what I want to say. It's a pretty straightforward design.
Kind of simplistic, but not simple.
Well, it is simple, but it's got like what you would see something like Sean Boyd or Four Eyes make. It's got a lot of like those sweeping joints. Mm-hmm. You know, it's got a lot of that on there, and I'm really excited to make this design because I really like this design. So we agreed on the design. I think I'm gonna just cut out templates on the CNC for it and just make it out of 5/4 ash. And I think I'm just going to do like some sort of hard wax oil over it. He wanted something really durable. Anyway, it's going to be, I'm
Rubio
making that, which is I think it's going to be vesting. Actually, I think I'm going to go with I'm going to try that LED vesting wax on there. I haven't been able to use that yet, unfortunately, because I've been so busy.
Did you hear that? Robert
no,
you're starting fires.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's what I'm here for.
So I'm interested in trying that stuff out, but I'm really excited about new builds. And I got a bunch of stuff. The last like 5 days has been just insane. I think when people meet with their friends and family and they have people over to their homes, they realize that they want bigger tables because they've had a bunch of people at their houses. I don't know what the deal is right now, but I've been getting hit with a ton of requests for new tables and new custom countertops. So I've priced up a bunch of those over the last few days. In fact, what's today? Thursday? Tuesday, I think Sean was over here working in the shop. And for
December 2nd.
Oh my God. Sean was over here, and I think for about a solid hour and a half, I was just responding to emails while he was doing glue ups. So it was just been busy. You know, it's really great. I'm really excited.
I'm going to cut you off a little bit here and say you are the epitome of like, if you build it, they will come. It's
the truth.
It's seriously the truth. You've upgraded to like a bigger shop and you've increased your capacity and you've already filled like your quote unquote quota. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
I can't keep up right now. Like I was telling you guys this week that I got the quote.
You already need a bigger space.
Yeah, I got the quote for the shop edition, and I like pooped my pants when I saw the quote for the shop edition. It's so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And we could do it right now, but I don't want to do it right now because I want to sit on some money in the bank for a few months before we do it. I think it's just the wise decision to not just like spend all that money right away. But I got to come up with, I was just telling Dan, I was trying to make Dan mad by saying I can get a shed.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
I'm buying a shed to put right outside my shop because I'm starting to use some more industrial coatings for my finishes. I'm not spraying. I try to focus on water-based finishes. I really like Target. Obviously, I use these finishes that I know that if I spray them for 20 years, I'm not going to die suddenly of a brain hemorrhage. But I'm starting to get
feel attacked right now.
They do they really do require some more industrial coatings, and I can't have them in my shop, especially with shop helpers in there now. When I have to finish a piece, it shuts the shop down for 3 days. I got to throw up this zip wall. I got to shut everything down. I got to spray this table for several days, and it's a nightmare. So I'm buying a shed for now that I'm going to put. It's going to be right outside my shop. It's going to be an 8x15 shed for a spray booth is what I'm putting.
Which is like bigger than most people's shops.
I prefer arsenic.
It's 120 square feet.
Finishes.
That's a pretty good size shop. I think that's bigger than Lee Oman's shop.
Oh, damn, he said it.
You don't have to do that every week. I mean, come on.
We
don't even call it Lee's shop every week.
Morgan, what were you saying?
What were you saying, Morgan?
I prefer arsenic-based finishes.
Arsenic-based finishes are the best.
I like the chloroform ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does this rag
I just wake up later and the table's finished.
Like, have a little fun while you're finishing your projects, right? You know?
I like your style, Morgan. Like it.
No, so I mean, this is something I got to do. Unfortunately, I mean, I'd really like to wait, but I don't think so. The shop edition, running it through permit is going to take 5 to 6 months, is what I'm told, just through the permit side of it. So. I mean, I won't start it until March. I probably won't have it till fall, which is a super huge kick in the pants. So I've got to start figuring out some other solutions for things because there's a lot of big stuff coming down the pipe. So anyways, it's been a busy week. There's a lot of stuff going on. I couldn't be happier to be back at woodworking. It's the thing I love the most. I've been telling my wife every single night at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm back at it. I feel so like me again. I don't know. I've been having this weird anxiety. Feels like I've been unemployed, even though I've been kind of like, it's been like a bunch of busy work. So sorry for the long what's on my bench, but it's been a crazy week for me. So
we haven't even started questions yet, and we're an hour in.
No, I don't. Should we just do a few of them and move some to next week?
Nope.
We're pretty late.
Let's
power through them.
Let's go.
Morgan,
we did an hour 50 with Graz. I feel like Morgan's
let's
more
ask
important.
Our guest. Morgan, do you have time?
I got time.
Okay. We're going to jump into the first question now. Let's do this. Let's do this now. Right. Morgan, this is the first question from Adam Barnett.
Hey guys, Adam here from Barnett Custom Woodworks. So I do a lot of finishing with rattle can spray lacquer, and it's really cold here in Michigan. So I'm wondering what the coldest temperature that you guys have sprayed lacquer successfully in, and if you have any tips and tricks for it. Some of the cans say not to go under 60 degrees, and I've read some places like 40 degrees, and it's like there's an accelerator that evaporates weird, and it can ruin the curing process, and the finish gets messed up. I don't know. So whatever you guys information you have, I would love if you could share that with me and let me know what you guys recommend. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Dan.
You would go to me first.
Well, you spray a lot of lacquer. I mean,
I do spray a lot of lacquer. Actually, I'm kind of trying to move away from lacquer, believe it or not. Lacquer has been my go-to for years.
Not enough arsenic.
But I'm trying to move away from it just because it has given me problems in the past, and I do want to move to a water-based finish. My lungs are important, I feel like. So
finally, it took 1.5 years for you to say it.
Oh, stop it, Mom. Anyway, I've successfully sprayed lacquer in pretty cold temps. I'm talking like 10, 15 degrees.
Whoa.
Lacquer
really?
In that regard is pretty stinking resilient. It will quote unquote dry or cure in pretty cold temps. It just takes longer, like in an indoor temperature after it dries, to actually cure.
Okay.
So you have to realize that the word dry and the word cure are two different words, and they mean
question.
two different things.
Does it need the temperature for the cure or the dry?
It needs the temperature for the cure, I believe.
Okay.
I could be completely talking out of my rear end here, so I imagine somebody from the internet is going to correct me. However, the dry time is going to be not terrible, and I have successfully sprayed it where it dries in 10 or 15 degree weather. Aside from that, Adam, have you thought about moving out of Michigan?
Yeah,
that is an option.
That's kind of.
I mean,
why?
it's pretty cold. Here in Omaha, I have sprayed it. I do have a shop heater. It wasn't like terribly expensive. I think at the time when I bought it, it was like $400. I know it's gone up since then, but it's worth its weight in gold. Get a shop heater, especially if your shop isn't that big. My shop is 22 by 22. I don't know what the cubic feet is there. Do the math on that. But the one that I got from Menards actually does really well. And it can get...
Oh, wait, that's 21 by 21. That's mine. Never mind.
it can get my shop to 70 degrees. So what I do before I spray something, I'll get my shop really, really heated and really well off. And then before I spray, I open the doors and spray. That way the ambient temperature is actually pretty decent. That's what you're looking for, the ambient temperature. So when you open your doors, if it's 0 degrees outside and your temperature in your shop is 50, 60 degrees, it's not going to instantly like change to 0 degrees to match the outdoor temperature. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a long while. So if you have a fan going and you spray and you have the fan going and it blows all the chemicals outside, it actually does a really good job. And as soon as all the chemicals are outside and you shut the doors, your ambient temperature isn't that low compared to what it was before you open the doors. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not a scientist.
Numbers scientist.
But as woodworkers, we're all kind of scientists, right?
We experiment. Let's put it that way.
We experiment a little bit.
Experiment.
We research. We do our own research, Morgan.
Toss it to Morgan. He's talking.
Yeah, I want to hear what Morgan has to say.
I don't feel like I can speak intelligently on that question because
I certainly can't, but I did somehow.
Intelligently?
I mean, I live in Florida. It's
Florida. Way to flex now.
No, I have used rattle can lacquer. I use it a lot actually. Actually, the heat. The hotter it is, I feel like the longer it takes to.
I think that's more humidity right? Based.
Yeah, that's likely. And when you do it outside, and unless I bring it into my home where it's gonna smell like lacquer,
right?
It takes forever to actually dry. I don't know what the difference is between the cold and the warm, humid Florida climate, but. I don't know. I think given enough time, it'll basically do what you want it to do at any temperature within reason.
Yep. I think it just alters the cure times a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Pete?
For me, the coldest I've ever sprayed is probably about 40 plus degrees. And I definitely agree with the whole get a heater, because like even if you don't get a heater for the entire like curing time, lacquer dries really fast.
Lacquer's pretty resilient when it comes to the cold.
The cure time, yeah, but like the dry, like to get it to dry out fully, because that's the thing. Like I've noticed in the summer, if I spray humid, it takes longer to dry and maybe cure. But like the dry is what I care about because I can do another coat,
Mm-hmm.
So in the winter, like I'll have the heater going if I can, but the shop, I try to keep it around, minimum low 40s. I don't want it to drop below that because I have water cooled spindle and laser now. Like I never want it to drop below that. So I sprayed in that and I've had great success. No major issues with rattle can lacquer or gun, much success. So Mike, what about you? You've done a lot of spraying. What do you?
He lives in California. What does he know?
The lowest temperature I've sprayed it where successfully was like 41 or something, pretty low 40s. But it's really, really dry here in the winters. There's very low humidity, so I think that plays a factor.
To do with it.
Humidity has a ton to do with it.
But I think lacquer is there's a bigger problem here, Adam, and everyone's touched on it. I think you need to move out of Michigan. No, you need to get a heater really bad. You need to get a heater really bad. Like you need to get a heater. Like get a heater in your shop.
Even a radiant heater.
I have like a little oil radiant heater, and it heats up my shop to like 74.
Heaters, the small ones, those things are great. I have 2 of them. They're awesome.
Just
anyway, he's talking about using he's talking about using rattle can lacquer. So you got to imagine he's not spraying larger products.
He probably has a dust collector. Just throw a bunch of sawdust in the middle of the floor and light it on fire. The next question is from Jake Miller. Jake has this to say.
What's up, guys? It's Jake Miller from A Sweet Shop. I was just calling in with a question about dust collection. I know you guys have spent a lot of time on dust collection in general over the last few episodes here, but really just wanted to ask if you guys had any ideas or have anybody to kind of point me in the right direction for dust collection for a larger shop with taller ceilings. I'm wanting to hard plumb everything in my new shop. The downside is I have 16-foot ceilings and no beams, no lofts or anything like that to be able to attach anything to. So I was looking at ways to be able to get the plumbing up out of the way so it's not in my way and not a tripping hazard for tools that are going to be placed more in the center of the floor. So, just want to hear your guys' thoughts and let me know. Thanks, guys.
I'll go real quick. Sorry, Pete. If I was in a dream scenario with a 16-foot ceiling with no beams, I would run my pipes at 11 feet and I'd hang them with plastic strapping, plumber's strap from the joists. And I would go to 11 feet because typically as a woodworker, you're not going to work with much over 10 feet. You're going to usually get 8s and 9s from your skids if you're ordering in full skids of lumber, or you're going to have sheet goods that I know, Jake, you're just not going to have a lot of stuff over the 10-foot mark. So if you've got your piping and if you're running a system that's adequate for your shop, you're probably running something that needs 6-inch plumbing. So you're going to want something that is just over that 10-foot mark so you can flip a sheet or stick over without knocking into that stuff. And then I would get the plastic plumber's strap, hang it from the joist, and go that route. You're going to be losing a lot of like usable space above you. 16 feet is a huge ceiling in a shop.
I feel like that's a weird flex.
Yeah, it is a really big,
like good luck heating that.
I would say I
would build a second floor.
Like maybe put like 100%. A loft. What are those? You can bring in those metal structures that give you like a second floor up there.
Yeah.
Or just like a loft thing. But anyway, I don't think he's gonna have a problem staying warm in Georgia though. Does it get cold? Does it get cold there?
Oh, I guess that's right. He's moving.
Never.
Is it Georgia or Florida? Where did he end up?
They have peach trees. It never gets cold.
Anyway, speaking of peach trees, Pete. Peach trees. What's
about to peach tree?
Oh yeah,
you're welcome.
2 different people. My bad.
Well, he was also asking about a dust collector, and me and Jake have talked about this. We both kind of want the same thing, but it's not available right now. And that's the one that I'm waiting on. It's the Laguna.
Jake, I'll sell you mine. Yeah, the P-Flux one. I'll sell you mine.
Little far. Well, he might be a good candidate for like the 2 or maybe even a 3 if he's looking.
I feel like he needs more than the 1.
3.
But yeah, we both want the same thing. They just don't have them in stock right now. I've been talking with Laguna on getting mine, and it was supposed to arrive mid-November. Still nothing. So there's supply chain issues, all that BS. But as far as I think we answered this 2 weeks ago. I think you're a good candidate for 2 systems, whether it's like a cheapo Delta or Central Machinery or whatever in one side of the shop that might not need as many CFMs. And then the big boy for the rest of the shop. So you might not have to plumb the entire shop with one machine. especially with you running a CNC. I don't know if you're plumbing that into it or running it off a separate DC. So look into that. And I think Mike brought up a good point. 11 feet, honestly, more than enough. Don't go any higher than that. Definitely don't go all the way to your ceiling. It's just wasting CFMs.
And valuable loft space.
Exactly. Well, Morgan, what do you think?
So this little outside the box, I would say a small dedicated dust collector for each of your major tools. Sitting on the floor right next to the tool. So you've got those, the little ones on wheels that are, about the size of a microwave, and they blow into a bag and stuff. Now, it wouldn't be able to pull air through piping all over your shop, but for that one tool, it would be just fine. So for a shop that size, you could spend $2,000 on a big dust collector to pull all that air, or you could buy 4 or 5 small dust collectors for each tool, and then you wouldn't have to mess with any of that stuff.
I kind of like that idea.
Yep.
That sounds actually really good.
I like having
especially
zones.
for a big shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you have extra space and you can just put that dust collector next to the tool.
Yeah. It's just right. I mean, it's just dedicated. That's all it's pulling air from, is that one tool. Because we have that one. It's a nice big Laguna dust collector, and it's a
P
sounds
Flux.
like it.
I don't know which one it is though. 1, 2, or 3.
It's the Flux.
I feel like that's a C flux.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
C
it's a
Flux?
C-Flux.
Oh, might not have a drum on the HEPA on it.
3. So C Flux 3.
That's
But
plenty
it
of
sounds
suction.
like a jet taking off. I mean, it is.
It
Wow.
would heat Mike's shop. His auxiliary shop would get extra heat because of it.
It pulls a lot of air, but we've got, 4 or 5 major machines that we would need to have, proper dust collection on.
Mm.
You can get those small dust collectors for not that much money. And,
Not a whole lot. Comparatively.
Yeah. And they're actually,
comparatively.
you put each one on an auto switch, and they're much quiet. They're very quiet.
No,
I don't know. That's my solution.
it's good.
Dan, what about you?
Jake, I don't have anything to add that these guys didn't already say.
Attaboy.
What?
The next question.
Whoa! I wasn't done. If you want to go super shop, secret shop, dream shop scenario, you would rip up the concrete.
Get out of here.
In your
What's
floor.
What's another word for concrete?
Concrete or cement.
Cement.
In your shop, and you would plumb everything underground, so it would never
Like
be
a
a
man.
problem. Like a man.
And why, Dan? Do you want to tell him why? Because it'll be grounded. You'll have grounded dust collection.
Oh,
The next question is from John Tacarino. John has this to say.
Hey guys, this is John over at Tack Woodworks on Instagram. I have a question for you about shop organization. This is something that's a constant challenge, basically looking to find the time to put in to update different shop projects, things that are going to help you keep organized. I'm looking for your advice on what's like a quick win, something you can do in the short term to make an impact in the shop, and also something that's kind of long term that takes a little bit more time or it's more complicated, separate from things like a clamp rack or a lumber rack or a drill and battery holder that goes on the wall. Outside of those things, curious on your thoughts, kind of a quick hit, also something more long term that you think really is worthwhile to put in the time for shop organization. Thanks, guys. Look forward to your responses.
Dan, it appears that you either want me to throw it to you or not throw it to you ever.
Not.
I can't tell right now. Okay, not Dan. Pete, what's up?
Yeah, so no,
What you got, girl?
Some of the best shop organization advice that I ever got was take every tool you're ever going to need for that tool. So walk over to the joiner, and every tool you're going to need, every wrench, whatever, set it on that tool. do the same thing for your table saw, your bandsaw, all the saws. Whether it's a little square or a push block or whatever, make a little board on a wall, on a tool, attach it to the tool itself, that has a little hanger for all of the tools you will ever need for that machine. You will save yourself so much time running around. And I used to think that like, oh, you want the big tool wall, like the French cleat, right? That's what everyone's got. And then I went into my buddy Glenn's shop, and Glenn's got every tool he'll ever need for that station right on the wall. And I was like, this is freaking brilliant. You've got the same wrench in 4 places in your shop, but you don't have to walk around and look for it. It's there for that tool. So that would be my advice. Make every tool you will need for that, whether it's a push stick, a square, or a tool to actually adjust it, set that up. Morgan, what do you think? I want to hear what you say, because you got a small shop. What's your best organization tip?
So, I mean, you can optimize your space. Any way that you can optimize your space is only as good as your habits. I think habits are going to be the deciding factor in keeping your shop organized. If you get something out for a specific operation, put it back when you're done with that operation.
Oh, I feel like you're attacking me right now, Morgan.
I feel attacked.
Well, I mean, it's like if, to keep your shop organized.
You'll get used to it, Morgan. He feels like everyone's attacking him at all times, so it's fine. You say your thing.
I was crafting this response to specifically attack Dan. I've seen your shop on Instagram, Dan.
Oh my God.
Get yourself together. No, it's. I think
this is a safe space.
I think habits are the best organizational tool. Everything has a place. When you use something, put it back where it goes. Mm-hmm. And that's going to keep you, that's going to save you time, and that's going to keep you organized.
I like that. Dan, do you have an answer now?
I'm just going to parrot everything that Morgan just said. He was totally attacking me in that response.
No.
Absolutely.
I didn't even touch on your breath or your toenails. So, I was.
He knows this.
Bro, I just cut my toenails like 2 days ago. It was getting ridiculous. I couldn't put my socks on.
He's got to resharpen his saw blade.
I got nothing to add. Morgan was more than sufficient. What he said.
Put your stuff away. Mike, what do you say?
I will say I didn't think about what Morgan said is dead on. I still don't know my shop yet. Like I'm so used to my old shop. I'm like, where's my glue bottle? Where's my effing tape measure? Like I can't find anything. Where's my rule? I can't find anything. I'm walking around my shop.
I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off real fast.
What? Everyone's surprised. What?
One of the best things I did, shocker, I went to Menards and I bought like 6 tape measures, and I have them all. Dude,
what's a measure?
It's like a measure.
Why you guys gotta
Nebraskan?
I went to Menards and I bought 6 tape measures. Did I say that better?
That's a great investment.
I have 5.
But I spread them all over my shop, and now they're everywhere.
I have them around my shop. I can't find anything right now. I'm still getting used to the new flow in my shop. Also, part of that is I haven't worked in my shop except for 5 days since I've been here for 2 months.
Oh, so you don't know what you need yet.
Yeah, I've only been there for 5 days. I've only worked.
I need wood.
Yeah, where's my wood at? No, so it's just like I'm learning the place. So anyway.
We talked about this with shipping the other day. Like you don't have processes set up yet.
Yeah, I'm getting my processes. But I do want to say one thing that really kind of changed my shop around for me was my outfeed table and centering the focus of my shop around my table saw, because the table saw is such a pivotal tool in the shop. Everything kind of works around that. So the way I've organized my shop is table saw and outfeeder in the middle of my shop. And having that outfeed has really changed my whole productivity level and how I kind of approach everything about how I set up my shop. So that's one thing I wanted to say. But let's throw it to Dan for the giveaway. Dan.
Yeah, let's talk about the giveaway, shall we?
I guess.
So Macbeth Hardwood is back, and it's wanting to sponsor us for a monthly giveaway. And this month we are giving away, thanks to Macbeth Hardwood, a DeWalt palm sander.
Oh,
You
Nice.
said
What?
there were like you screwed me up there.
We were.
oh,
Both,
I was like going, whoa, oh yeah. I was hyping you. I was hyping you. I was like, yeah. Should I do a finger gun? Sorry.
I was
He made a noise. You
I
made
was
a
trying to
noise. I
think
was like,
shocked. Mike did some. Mike, when you said it, it sounded like you stuttered. Your audio cut out.
Dan, you can't
Sorry.
get rattled every time Mike gets the hiccups. It's part of life.
He can.
Welcome to the show, Morgan.
No. If I go, no, that's when you stop.
All right, let's start over.
Let's keep going.
This month, December, Macbeth Hardwood is sponsoring a DeWalt palm sander giveaway. So we need a code phrase, everybody.
Do you have one?
I kind of
Oklahoma.
have one.
Oh,
Knucklahoma.
I'm gonna need edge. Oh,
You kind of still.
that was a good one.
That was really good, actually. God
Yeah.
dang it. I kind of hate you right now. I was going to go with Knuckle Duster.
What?
I like Knucklahoma.
No.
Knuckle is really good.
What about knuckle sandwich? Because it's a sander.
Hey.
God dang it, Morgan.
Pete with the no.
All right.
Tie it all
It's an
together.
A.
All right. Knuckle sandwich is your code phrase
There you go.
this week, ladies and gentlemen. Send that to us in an email at another wood. Grr.
Another Woodcast pod shop.
Nope. Ignore that. Send that to us in an email at
Knucklecast
awpgiveaway@gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
AWPG.
Another
I hate you guys.
AWP giveaway at gmail.com.
Thank you, Pete.
At a knucklewoodcastpodshop.com.
That's the one.
At milescraft.net.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like we're
All right,
talented.
all right.
That's it. Their website's actually at GeoCities.
I already forgot. All right. Back up.
Thank you, Dan. Wait, what's the special
hold
one?
on. Hold.
Knuckle,
what was it?
no, Knuckle Sandwich.
Knuckle sandwich.
Another woodshop podcast at gmail.com.
Nope.
This is your job.
Nope.
AWP giveaway at gmail.com.
God dang it.
Right.
I wanted to start over and get this really clear. Knuckle sandwich
Woodshop podcast.
at awpgiveaway@gmail.com.
That's right. We have the separate one.
Yes. Send that to us.
There's two
Thank you
emails.
very
Not a
much.
big deal.
And super thank you to Macbeth Hardwood for sponsoring the giveaways yet again. Back to the
Outstanding.
show.
All right, let's go quick through these questions. It's
Yeah.
late and I'm sleepy and I got to edit some stuff. So this next question is from Edwin Mancini.
Hey guys, it's Ed Mancini from E&J Creations Woodworks. Thanks for the tip last week. Didn't realize that my voice didn't sound like Dan's, a mix between Fergie and Jesus. But this week, my question for you guys is, as you guys were getting started through your woodworking journey and creating a business and all, what would you say was your greatest challenge?
Learning to
and
read.
what did you do to overcome that challenge?
Dude, don't steal my
I
answer.
appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll talk to you next time.
I want to throw it to Morgan. Don't use the word journey though, please. Like, tell us about your story.
I'll tell you about. All right. So this is my truth. I mean, I think the hardest thing about learning woodworking isn't really that hard at all. I mean, anything that you need to know is on YouTube.
Yep.
Everything that I know, I learned on YouTube. Now I didn't get it right the first time. I didn't get it right necessarily the first 5, 6, a dozen baker's dozen times.
I've never gotten it right.
You can learn anything that you want to learn on YouTube. The trouble that I had was actually making income and making a living doing it to support my continued learning journey.
Morgan stole my answer, and I'm gonna report him to my lawyers. Continue.
But if making money doing woodworking isn't your goal, it is still nice to have an Etsy shop or something that you can sell the stuff that you make, just to fund the material that you buy, and maybe buy some new tools and keep learning new techniques on new machines, and just keep growing and building on your skills. But that's the real trick is, I've actually, I guess we can get to this later, but I've actually started writing a book, and a good
what? It's kind of late in the show to be like
someone
dropping
knows how to
that.
write.
Well, nobody asked.
Morgan, question though: are you writing a bike or writing a
bike?
Okay.
Are you writing a bike?
You writing
right
a book? All right.
This is a chair, not a bike, Mike.
Oh, that explains why that customer was so mad with that chair I built him.
I didn't order a rocking bike.
Is this like a coloring book or what's up?
So the a good portion of it is going to deal with kind of just the current state of consumer perception of value of wooden products. It's the IKEA complex. It's
that's nice.
Why would I buy a table that is going to last me for the rest of my life and probably my children and my grandchildren's life, when I can go to IKEA and I can buy a table the same size for $10? Like, and when it breaks because I move or I pick it up, that's fine. I'll go get another one for $10. And I'll keep doing that.
I like that, and I don't like it because you were so right. The IKEA complex.
Yeah.
And so it deals with a good portion of it is going to deal with people's perception of we just have a kind of a throwaway culture of like, I'm not going to get something. I don't want to invest up front now for something that's going to last me. I would rather just keep buying junk over and over and over again. And that, I think that's the real difficulty that a burgeoning woodworker faces, is that it's very difficult to communicate the value of quality custom work.
It's also very hard to get into the correct market for that too. Like if you don't have the skills to make a bespoke piece that's going to be an heirloom piece of furniture that's going to last a long time, it's really hard to get to those customers because you have to create this reputation for yourself to be able to, you can't just be like, hey, I can make you this table that's going to last you 50 years. They're going to be like, prove it. You have to have a reputation behind you to do that. So it's really hard to get into that market. And then when you finally do get into that market, then you're like, okay, now I got to keep finding people that want to buy this stuff over and over and over again to keep your business going. It's not easy. And it's tough because, and this was going to go into what I was going to say, and I'm not going to go into what I'm going to say, but you have to keep challenging yourself and making more and more different, more challenging things to get better to a level where you can actually like, what's the word I'm looking for here? You can actually send out quotes with such high dollar amounts on them that people will pay for it. Like if you just keep making a million cutting boards all the time, you're never going to make an armoire that's going to sell for $13,000 or $15,000. You're just going to keep making cutting boards over and over and over again. And you're never going to be able, the word I'm looking for is command. You're not going to be able to command the prices you need to sustain a business and a shop. It's just not going to happen. And that's it. I mean, your answer is my answer, Morgan. So I'm going to say it from a different thing, but you have to like find a way to get your foot into a market somehow that you have no business being in, essentially. And then you have to find a way to excel at it, or you just fail. It's super difficult because it's exactly that. There's a consumer, it's all this consumerism out there. They'll no one wants to pay for the table that's going to last and that they can give to their kids. They want to buy the thing that gets them by until the next house they buy. It's sad, but true.
Yeah.
It's a way I was when I was in my 20s. I think a lot of people are like that. And then you start to see the value in that. Like it starts to go into tools too. Like when I didn't have this mindset until I got into woodworking, where like I would be like, yeah, let's buy the cheap tool. Well, when I needed to pay my bills, I can't do that anymore. I can't buy a cheap tool unless it's something I don't use. If it's a tool that I'm using day in and day out, I need to know that it's going to be there to work for me tomorrow, because otherwise I won't be able to pay the bills. That's where I'm at with things. And if I have a piece of furniture, or if I own a home or something that I have that I want, I'm kind of past like buying the cheap thing anymore. I want it to be the thing that's going to last. Now, you don't have to do that for everything. Like if I have like a socket wrench, I need it. I'm going to go buy a Harbor Freight one because I'm not a mechanic, but you know, consumerism is really ingrained in this society. It's really tough. Sorry, Morgan.
That's brilliant. It's beautiful.
It's just really tough. Like it's really hard.
Poetry.
It's hard to find a customer that also, it doesn't help that there is so much, like, I'm not trying to go any political direction at all with this, but like there's like rampant inflation out there, and who knows where things are going to be actually valued in a few months or years or whatever. There's all these things, but you have to find like the right customer base to sell to actually afford a living doing something that really, I tell people I make custom furniture, or I'm a custom woodworker. I'm sure, Dan, you get this. And they go, oh, really? I mean, I get it. Like that's still a thing. Like people say, like, it's like, oh, people still do that. And there is in this, like, there's this group of people where I feel like on some level it's starting to come back again, where like the custom furniture is starting to make like and it might just be my perception of things, because in my 20s and 30s, early 30s, whatever, I was a consumer, but now I'm in this world now where I make furniture and people are buying furniture that will last them for a lifetime. But as recently as 5 years ago, that didn't make sense to me either. And that's how ingrained it is into our world. That's
another good chunk of the book. Is that's a chapter, is the maker revolution, or the Etsy revolution. I haven't quite decided what I want to call it yet. But with the availability of information, the expansion of information through the internet, everybody sharing what they're making, people who make stuff are making a comeback. And as much as successful as mass production has become and will forever be, they're not doing one-off custom things. They're not going to waste their time with that. So there is a corner of that market that that makers still have and can always call their own. It's just, how do you make yourself stand out in that small corner of the market?
I think also, and I'm sorry I keep going here. I won't go. This will be my thing. I think when you go to, like, part of it is, I think COVID had a big thing to do with it, because a lot of people are at home more often, and they started going, okay, I'm here a lot. I don't know that I want like a $200 dining table anymore. I'm eating with my family every night. We're spending a lot more time together. I think I do want a $3,000 dining table. I'm kind of tired of this this console table that I got for $49.99 at IKEA. I think I really would like one that's there. And I keep seeing these live edge ones. So I think people are more at their home and they're more cognizant of what they're seeing in their own homes, and they want to make it nicer because they're there more. And a lot of people 100%. Are working from home.
Yep.
So I think there's like a shift. There's a bunch of things that are like helping push this shift. And I think it's going to continue for a while. And I don't think it's going to slow down. I also think, as a content guy who makes content, I think what's happening is people are home. They have more of their own free time because a lot less people are commuting. So they're looking for activities, and a lot more people are getting into woodworking. And as you stated, it's not that hard to do woodworking. Like the basics they're not hard. And I think what happens is a lot of people there's so much saturated information for content out there, and not just woodworking, but everything. All these hobbies that are there, there's so much you can find on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, all these different platforms, There's so much out there that you can very easily and very quickly learn how to do something. And what's happening is people are learning how to do these things and they're finding out that they really love doing it. And then they start loving to do it. And then they go, I want to share it. And now there's like millions of people sharing something. Whereas like 5 years ago, there wasn't millions of people sharing it. There was like a few hundred people sharing it. And they were like top of the game because no one else was doing it. But that's just like anyway, sorry. I don't even know what the question was. Dan?
I would imagine that.
I actually forget what the question was as well.
What's your biggest challenge in your woodworking journey?
Journey.
Journey.
Your woodworking truth.
My biggest challenge was separating the two. So like I had to wear a couple hats. Okay. Number one, I had to be the craftsman / artist of my business, of my brand. And I also had to be the salesman and the hype man. And that's two completely separate things. It really is. You have to be both. You can't be an artist. So like if you're really good at what you do and you have great products and you have a lot of skill, but if you don't know how to share that and like push it and put it out in the world,
you can't sell. You're not.
Yeah, if you basically, if what Mike said, if you can't sell, like you're gonna go nowhere. So you have to wear multiple hats in that field. You have to be the craftsman, the artist, and you also have to be the salesman and the hype man. It's difficult, but that's something you have to overcome. Being the salesman and the hype man is actually, I think, one of the harder things to do. You can be skilled and crafted at woodworking because there's so many resources out there that will tell you how to do things step by step. But being a genuine salesman, hype man, or just somebody who like shows you what you do, it's difficult. There's nothing out there that shows you how to do that. And I think that has been one of the more difficult things that I've had to overcome. And luckily, I've kind of been in this self-employment game for a while, so I understand how that works. And I kind of have a leg up in that situation. Pete, what do you think?
Well, for me, I don't know if this was the biggest challenge, but it's one of the biggest hurdles that I've overcome that I run into other people having the issue. And that is getting your, I don't want to just say spouse, but getting your family on board initially. Because some of us get very excited about something and then becomes, you become obsessed with that hobby or that thing. And it's turning into a business and you're seeing potential and you're seeing the growth. But if you're not saying it, if you're not positioning it properly to your wife, your family, or whoever, you're potentially, scaring them a little bit with like how intense you're getting about this thing that's currently bleeding money. Let's say you're just buying tools and whatever, and you're making some money, but then buying more tools. And like it could potentially be very scary to someone that doesn't see what
that's funny because Kayla and I were just talking about that tonight.
I mean, that's something me and Emma talk about all the time. Like, that's why I have this hard rule of the shop pays for the shop.
Yeah.
I spend money like crazy in the shop because the shop is working its butt off to make money for the shop. I spend no money personally. Like,
exactly. Aside
from like groceries and whatever, like the shop spends its shop money. And that was a big thing. That was something I decided early on because I realized that like I was just buying up tools that I think I would need. And then they would sit there for weeks or months or whatever. And I would never use them, but I thought they were cool and I had to have them. And I'd be like, damn, I didn't, luckily at the time, like Emma wasn't as invested in it, but like even I was living, me and my parents owned a house and like we were living together and I started like taking over the shop slowly, or the garage at the time. I was taking over the garage more and more and more. It started in a corner. And then by the end of it, before we moved out, it was the entire place. Every wall was taken up by me. That could be very scary to people that don't see the whole big picture. So I think getting your loved ones, getting your family involved in a process, talking out the plan, talking out the potential, talking through the purchases. Like, I think this is a good idea. I'd love your input. I know it's an expense, but here's what I could do with it. That's difficult. That conversation is very difficult to have with loved ones, especially when you're at an 11 because you're excited because it's going well and they don't see it yet, So, and it also, this was all started blowing up for me right around the time when I was like in like really bad debt, and Emma was just waiting for me to propose, and wasn't happening. And I was talking about buying more tools, and she was like, "What about me?"
You were proposing to buy more tools.
To get more tools, yeah. And a year later from the day that we had like a really deep conversation about all of it, where I was like, "Wow, I gotta get my crap together." From that we got engaged, and I was on my way to be out of debt, and the shop was its own separate thing, and it became more successful. So I think getting our family on board is a big challenge that a lot of us have, and a lot of us kind of skip over that step, and we're just going hard on our business, but like we got to get them involved. I think we all involve our spouses pretty well. I can't
absolutely
again, but like
the threat of divorce is my biggest motivator.
Yeah, right. But like that's challenging because it's crazy because we all we think about is woodworking and the shop and our bills and our projects like all the time. That's a lot of family time that is being spent in the shop. So you got to make sure to bring the family in on that early on so that they come along with you on the, say it with me, journey.
No, I'm not saying that.
No. I do want to say one thing that, another thing.
Sure.
I already kind of went into like what the struggle was a bit, but something I will say that people don't quite put enough value on for a business is networking. You need to network constantly with
crazy
all
valuable.
the local people around you. I'm not talking like, hi, I'm Mike, nice to meet you. I mean, you need to start building relationships with vendors. You need to start building relationships with other craftsmen, other trades, other people who do stuff. Because if you start building these relationships, if I get to meet a guy who does granite, right? And he's got a customer who wants, who needs a new countertop. He's doing a granite countertop for, and they go, hey, we really would like a custom island under this. And we have a good relationship. He's going to recommend me. Or, contractors and stuff. I have a contractor friend of mine. I use him. I'm going to be using him for installs on stuff. It becomes this symbiotic relationship where I don't know if you guys listen to, I was on the podcast. I was on on Ben's podcast, Green Suitor podcast. And Sedge was talking about how when he worked in a industrial park at a cabinet shop, there was a couple other cabinet shops and there was some other trade shops in that same business park. And they used to refer work to each other basically nonstop. That's how they were all keeping each other up. One guy was doing a remodel in a home and they needed cabinets in there. That work went to that cabinet shop. Those cabinets needed countertops. They went to a granite shop. There was an electrical guy in the same industrial park. It's just all because they knew each other and they recommend each other. And when a customer takes on a tradesman especially if it's a good tradesman who does good customer service, if that is a friend of yours, you're probably going to get work from that guy who's referred you to other stuff. So referrals and word of mouth are like the biggest thing for me, in my experience, to get work. So it is it's very hard to land work, but if you really get yourself out there and network with people and are in front and really active about trying to get the work, I think you can get it. But not everyone has that sales ability.
Network yourself. You're right.
It's kind of tough. So
make friends.
So, anyways, we're actually going to call it for the questions. We got a couple of questions in there that we're going to push to next week because this is a long one. Big thank you to Morgan. Speaking of long ones, he's very
Morgan,
tall.
Thank you so much for sticking it out, man.
No, he's like 6'7".
You see that, Knuckle?
We'll go with that.
No, big thanks to Morgan for joining the show. Man, it was great to have you on the show. I can't wait to see you at Workbench Con, dude.
Thank you guys
seriously,
for...
really
yes.
Yes.
No,
I fully expect you to buy me a bourbon at Workbench Con.
I will buy you a bunch of beers. I really like you, Morgan. You're a really great guy. So,
we're buying him beer?
Shucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
shucks,
buy him a
Mike.
beer.
I thought he was going to buy me a bourbon. I thought that was part of the deal.
That's not how this works. He's the cute girl in this conversation.
Listen,
dang it.
I've got free chicken sandwich cards from Chick-fil-A.
Oh, we were just talking about Chick-fil-A earlier.
You
Dirty to me.
get to share one with another. So
I'll get the lift. We can Lady in the Tramp some nuggies. I don't care. No,
I got Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich cards with your name on them. So.
Yeah, you're a gentleman and a creative director. So big thanks to Morgan for joining us.
And a knuckle.
Big thank you. Big thank you to MIRKA for sponsoring this week's episode. You guys are awesome. We did get a new patron. We'll mention that next week. Go check out the Patreon page. Check us all out on Instagram. Check out MicroJig on Instagram and YouTube. All of us are on Instagram and YouTube. Go check out Morgan's CNC build. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm super excited about that.
Go check that out. Go check us all out on Etsy. We will be back next week as usual. I think we got one more episode after that, and then we're going to take a Christmas break this year. It's our first break in 90 something episodes. We've never missed a week. So we're going to actually take Christmas off because I'm going to fly out of town for a week and I just need a break. So
we all need a break.
You guys, we'll talk to you next week. Yeah, everyone needs a break.
Mike's going to Las Vegas to dance.
I gotta make some side cash. No, I'm going to Montana we're flying out of here the day of Christmas. So we actually might be able to do a podcast that day. We'll figure it out. But anyway, we'll figure it out later. Anyway,
thank you to everyone.
Big thanks to everyone. You guys are awesome. Morgan, you're great. Everyone have a great night.
Right.
Bye now. Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Long time. Love you long time.
All right.
Kill it.